a show to talk about my faction. Can get me and Max reactions. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back, nerds, to MyFaction Reaction, your weekly talk show about WWE, MyFaction, and WWE 2K25. Very excited to talk about this week. We don't have new card pack openings, but we do have some new live events to talk about, which I think a lot of people are going to be excited for. That being said, before we get there, I just want to give a big thank you to everybody who's hit that subscribe button. We've actually pushed over 100 subscribers, and I know that's a small amount, but I've seen a lot of growth just over the past few weeks, and I really do appreciate anybody who's hit that subscribe button as I'm trying to grow this content and make more MyFaction content for you guys. So super excited to talk about some of these brand new live events. We'll go over some wrestler birthdays, and we're going to talk about the best grinding methods for MFP right now. So with that being said, let's check out these new live events. All right, guys, let's take a peek at some of these brand new live events and some existing live events which have already happened, which are bringing back for people if you may not have been able to get it. And we've got some great news for you in that regard. So let's take a peek at it. We're going to start going through here. We'll just take a peek at the existing events. These are going to be done in a week, but we saw some of the electric events from the electric cards that launched last week. We have the Ultimate Challenge, which is what we're going to come back to here in a second. But you needed to have a bunch of the boss cards, it was a boss fight that you needed to have cards from the cards packs, which were harder to obtain. Well, we've got some great news for you in that regards. We also have the April Smash and Dash, Randy Orton's birthday, which is going on for 26 days still. Wow. And then we've got our first Superstar of the Month event, which is already ongoing, with a bronze John Cena versus Rey Mysterio to get the silver John Cena. And for this month, there will be multiple John Cena events, each using the successive card that you get from that event to do the next event. So you need to continue them in sequence. But let's take a peek at some of the new stuff coming up. We have a few birthday bashes. So we've got Sika's birthday bash. With Sika's birthday bash, the rewards are okay. It's not great. For Diamond Dallas Page, you just get the one basic electric pack out of that one. So it's just a one and done. For Charlotte, they've made it a little bit more interesting. So you will be able to get a deluxe Fierce pack, a regular Ascent pack, a regular Superstar 1 pack, and then just some Ruby side play. Now, this is where the big news is coming in, because a lot of people weren't able to get the cards to do the Ultimate Challenge because they weren't able to pull them from the packs. Well, we have some good news here. So up first, we've got Booker T being added back here. So the You're the Problem event to get the prototype John Cena. You need to get the Booker T. And to get Booker T, you need to get, here, we'll just show you guys here quickly. You need to go to the Legends, and you need to have Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Wade Barrett, Roddy Piper, and Ravishing Rick Rude. And you'll be able to play that event. All of those cards are available from the card shop itself. So we'll dive back into those live events. So that was the first one there. Ooh, I'm not going to the right spot there. So we're coming back up to the live events here. So we'll continue to go through them. So they brought that one back. We've also brought back the encore event for Trick's Revenge with Tony D to get Ilya Dragunov. So a lot of people weren't able to pull Tony D, and we've got some great news. Tony D is now available in the card shop with the rest of the Ascent card. We also have the Encore Megastar and the Animal fight. Once again, people were not able to pull the LA Knight card from the shops. Or from the card packs. So it is now in the shop as well. So if you're looking to get that LA Knight card, you can now just buy it right from the card shop. I believe it's around 47,000 MFP, which is what Sapphire cards are normally going for. So very easy to get. You can grind, and then you can get the Carmelo Hayes. What that means is you will now be able to do that boss event. The only card that you can't pull is the Austin Theory card from the current electric cards. That is not available in the shop as of yet. They have not added the electric cards as it's still a current one. So you still need to be grinding for that. But very good situation here for people who weren't able to pull Tony D or LA Knight. You can now just go buy the cards from the card shop and then be able to play the event. The other thing I've noticed here is that Ultimate Challenge card gives you this event gives you this Randy Orton card, which is required to get it's Apex Predator, no easy prey. So it looks like you're going to be in a triple threat match. Let's just take a peek at the match itself here. Looks like it's a standard pinfall match. There won't be a HUD. It'll be a blackout match. And it looks like it's just versus two jobbers, Jerry Sweat and Silence, which is Silence is the clown. So they have some small modifiers there. I don't think that'll be too hard. And then from there, you'll be able to get a Lyra Valkyria card, which looks to be decent. And then we've got our rest of our Superstar of the Month cards. So you need to get that silver John Cena card, which I do have now because I completed this week's event, to be able to play against Sami Zayn in an ambulance match, which I think is going to be a nightmare. Not in terms of difficulty, but just ambulance match casket matches have just been hard to complete in general. And then we've got the rest of the ones to unlock at the end of the month are Ruby John Cena, which is a persona card of John Cena 2010. So that's what's going on right now with the live events itself. Excited to see a few birthday bashes. We're going to cover some of the birthdays that are coming up for who we could see, but I'm very excited. I know there's a lot of upset in the community about not being able to get the Tony D'Angelo or LA Knight, pulling them from the packs. So now that they're just available in the store, it makes it really easy for people to complete those events, and hopefully they pull Austin Theory. But that will allow people to complete the Ultimate Challenge event and get Randy Orton. So that you can do this next event, as these seem to be building up upon each other. So yeah, very exciting stuff. Live events are looking great for this week. Yeah, very, very exciting. All right, I did quickly want to go through and do a quick update on the card shop itself. So we'll go over to the card shop here. No changes in the electric series. We still have the electric cards. That's what came out last week. We did a live opening. Next week, we'll have our new set of cards launching. We'll be doing another at least 20 pack opening of those. Once we get that, I already have enough MFP for well more than one 20 pack that will be opening up of whatever the upcoming card set is. My guess would be some sort of WrestleMania theme set, hopefully featuring our first Ruby cards and maybe a few grinding sets, but we'll see as we get closer to next week. But I did want to show, we already talked about this with the upcoming live events, but the Ascent and the Fierce cards have been added to the card market, so now you can be able to purchase those. So if you're missing cards, I need this Rhea Ripley card to be able to unlock Batista as the collection reward for the Fierce cards itself. That being said, we still have some birthday bashes and some packs coming up, so I'm going to hold off on buying it just in case I open it up through one of those packs. So we'll get closer if I need to buy it down the line here. But the other thing that's opened up in the token market, you're now able to purchase Sapphire cards. So as you're trying to increase your collector's level, you're able to use the WWE tokens that you get as a currency as well, and be able to purchase that. Currently, we've only had the Emerald cards available, so now we have the Sapphire cards here as well. No major cards here that I'm super excited about. There's not any really great badges out of this, but it does help buffer that collection level. So just want to go through those updates in the market here. Not a lot, but the Fierce and Ascent cards being added to this will, like I said, if you're missing LA Knight, you're missing Tony D, this is where you're going to find them right here. As well as the cards that you need to get Booker T from the Legend set of cards. So yeah, so this is very exciting. Glad to see these updates. They're definitely trying to make that event more accessible to everybody. All right, let's talk about the best ways to grind MFP. Currently, we're seeing two good ways to grind MFP. I think one will stay for the current while, but there will be a time frame of when we get out, because it's the women's match that we showed you last week, which we will just go over quickly again and how that works. So it's a 4 women's match in the mirror match in Orlando. We've been through this before. You want to make sure you have Trish Stratus. I'll just show my grinding team. The big cards that you want here are Trish Stratus, because she's got the Rabble Rouser at level 2, so she can do it after 2 taunts. And then we've got Katana Chance here as well, because she's got the quick winner, which will get you 25 extra MFP. And we'll do that quickly. But I think the second method is going to be more interesting. And while it nets about the same MFP right now, I think going forward, it'll probably be the go-to method, because you're able to use, I don't want to say all card types, because there are a few card types that are excluded from those matches, but it doesn't seem to have a block on what type of cards you're using in the match. So that being said, let's jump into this one first. We'll just go over this quickly. Start with Trish Stratus here. We'll just run into the match. So we'll load up here. Very, very simple. We went through this last week. It should take about 30 seconds total to get through the match. So you're going to have Trish Stratus here, and you're going to do light, light, heavy, heavy, while holding forward on the joystick. So at that point, you're going to knock her down. You're going to start doing your taunts, and then you're going to hold the L1 button and the left or right on the D-pad, and that's going to have them come down here. Oh, I didn't do the second taunt. Shoot. I'll show you how you can fix that. So just do your second taunt here. So even if you make a mistake, this is still pretty quick overall to fix and do up. So we've got the chick kick there. Okay, I'm going to show you guys here. Well, didn't even need to. So if you do make a mistake or they kick out in that turn, because it will happen occasionally where they are able to kick out of that match. And we'll just go through this one more time. That was 45 seconds. We can definitely do it in about 30, 520 MFP. If they do kick out, just do a strong grapple attack. I usually do strong grapple X and down. Or a heavy grapple with down, and that'll do a DDT, which leads right into a pin, and they won't run in and try and break up the pin at that point. So we'll give that one more try, just so you guys can see how quick that is, and then we'll switch over to the second method, which I think is a little bit more interesting, and I think the longevity in the game. We're going to see this one probably being used more, especially as we continue to get more cards and higher value cards. Okay, so we're going to try this again. Forward, light, light, heavy, heavy. We're going to run down, hit her like that. One taunt. We're going to sick everybody. That's do our second taunt here. And they didn't knock down Shotzi for some reason. We'll pick up Trish Stratus. We're going to have to knock Shotzi off too. Otherwise, she will break up the pin. There we go. And now we just do the pin. 1, 2, 3. And that's another 520 MFP. Really, really easy. So that way, still working, still giving good MFP. This next method I'm going to show you gives you a little bit more MFP. And I'll go over the team quickly here with that as well. So what we're going to want to do here, instead of doing the match in Orlando, we're going to leave Orlando. We're going to go to Chicago. We're going to go to Straight Edge here, and we're going to go to match 5. It's an 8-man normal tag match. We're going to go to my grinding team. There's 2 cards you need to have, or I guess all 4 of these are good for it. But the 2 you want to have here up front, and you can get these by playing Faction Wars, is you've got the Bloodline Brock, which has a level 2 Rabble Rouser, so 2 taunts and he'll get a finishing move. And then you want to have Randall Keith Orton here as well, because he also has Rabble Rouser, so 2 taunts and he gets that. And then from here, you want to have Rey Mysterio. Now, this was a locker code that came available last week. So just check your locker codes. I should talk about locker codes in these videos. I don't have it up in front of me. But this Rey Mysterio card is available through a locker code. And if you look at it here, it's got unscathed. So unscathed means if you've taken very little to no damage, you'll get an extra bit of MFP. It is at the lowest level, but that's still better than nothing. And the Legends Wade Barrett, for the same reason, he's also got that basic unscathed. So all of these cards are eligible here. So we're going to start with the Brock here. We're going to do a grapple. We're going to do 2 taunts. There's no running in this mode, so you can, or in this match, so you can't run. But that will sometimes work in your benefit. And there's going to be 2 things that could potentially happen here. Either they will either they will come and break up the pin with the Rock, and that will happen. And if they do, then you just switch to Randy Orton, and we'll go over it here. So let's start it up. Okay, so we're just loading into the match here. We're going to do a heavy combo, light, light, heavy, heavy with the Rock. That's going to stun the person. We're going to start doing our taunts. So let's just do that here. So light, light, heavy, heavy. We're going to get 2 taunts in, and then we're going to do the Rock bottom, his finisher very quickly. So we get those taunts out. We can pick up JD. He's still stunned, so we can hit the Rock bottom. Once we hit the Rock bottom, we're going to hit the button and switch to Randy Orton. You can't see it, but we're doing the taunts right now with Randall Keith Orton. So we're going to just switch back to The Rock here. We're going to bring in Randy Orton, who now also has a finisher. We're going to hit his finisher here. We're going to switch to Rey Mysterio. Okay, they kicked out, so we got another 2 taunts in there. Get back to Randy Orton. We'll pick him up. And we'll just... Oh, a bit of a roll up here. Did not expect that. Fine. We should pin him right here. So we'll switch to Wade Barrett and work on getting some taunts in there. So a few seconds longer. I've had this go very quickly where we'll get the pin with The Rock right away. So that one was 1 minute and 4 seconds, a little bit more time, but 615 MFP. So we got quite a bit more MFP out of that grind. So we'll do that one more time here. So we'll load that match up again. We'll go to the grinding team. So you do the heavy with The Rock first. Get your taunts off, pick them up, and then if you're in the right spot, they may not be able to reach you in time, and you'll just get the pin, and you'll get like 500-ish MFP. So let's do that quickly here. So heavy. So we'll pick him up. We'll do The Rock. Oh, I didn't do the taunts. Whoops. Makes more sense to do the taunts first. Okay, we got to do it quick. There. Now we'll switch to Randy Orton. You can see it this time. We'll do the taunts. Carlito's going to come in and break it up. Switch back to The Rock. Get Randy Orton in. We'll pick up him. We'll do the RKO. We'll switch to Ray. We've got Dom coming in now. And see what I said? They can't run, so sometimes they have an issue getting around. So it actually works out pretty well. That time's going to be like 45 seconds. I think we're going to get like close to 600 MFP. We won't have done... Yeah, so 45 seconds on the dot here. 570 MFP, so still very solid MFP-wise. You can do this one in 30 seconds if they don't break it out. Not as consistent as the Trish method, but this one yields a little bit more MFP. But what's going to be interesting as we continue to get more cards from card packs that have some of these better grinding skills, and whether that's Unscathed, Quick Win, or Rabble Rouser, we'll be able to put better teams using this match together to be able to actually do some higher numbers for grinding and eventually be getting like 800 to 900 a match pretty quickly, especially as the cards get stronger. So that being said, that's your MFP grind tips for this week. All right, next up, let's talk about some of the birthdays we have coming up, because we'll likely see some birthday bashes featuring some of these. Some of these we already see up there. So we've already got Sika. We've got the Diamond Dallas Page birthday event and the Charlotte Flair birthday event. I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to poor Chelsea Green. We did not celebrate Chelsea Green's birthday, a fellow Canadian, on April 4th. Very disappointed to not seeing us celebrate the longest reigning women's U.S. champion of all time's birthday. I don't even know how we missed that. Very, very upsetting. But when we're looking at birthdays for this week, so we are likely going to see one on April 9th for Bianca Belair. April 10th for Paul Bearer. He's in the game as the manager, so I could definitely see some sort of a birthday bash, maybe featuring The Undertaker with that. And then the final one, April 11th, which would take us to next week on Friday for this upcoming week, would be Harley Race potentially being in there, as well as we've got Harley Race in the game. So those are our birthdays that we're looking for this week. Hopefully we see a few of those birthday bashes. 100%, I think we'll see Bianca Belair and Harley Race. It's Paul Bearer. He's the big question mark. I don't know, as he's not a playable character. He is a manager, but it would be very easy to have something like The Undertaker versus CM Punk, or I don't know, or versus The Undertaker, because you choose the card. But yeah, very exciting. We still got a few we've got 3 that are going to start tomorrow at noon, and then we've got 3 others which could happen this week. So lots of birthday bashes, lots of chances to be able to pick up cards. Hi, everybody. I just want to say thank you for watching MyFaction Reaction. This is our 2nd episode. We had a great reaction to the first episode. Very, very excited about where we can take the show in the future, showing off MyFaction. I think it's a great mode in WWE 2K25. And I want to be able to show and highlight some of the best parts about it. So thank you so much. Thank you for everybody, like I said at the top of the show, for who hit subscribe. We are now over 100 subscribers on my channel. I want to keep this growing as we continue to do more videos for MyFaction reaction. I'm very, very excited about this, hoping to keep this consistently weekly. Let me know whether you like it weekly. Would you prefer smaller drops as like small pieces come available? What are you looking for in this? But yeah, that being said, we'll be back next week. Very excited because we'll have a brand new card pack. Fingers crossed. It'll be the WrestleMania cards. So, with a few rubies, and we'll do some live pack openings on right here. So yeah, that being said, keep fighting, and we'll see you next week, nerds.